Boy, 2025 has been a good year to me, and one of the successful years I've had in a long time. What do you think that's for? Because of probably clarity. Clarity has helped me realize a few things and value, showing clients value. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. What's it mean to have clarity? I got most contractors are unclear on the pricing, they're unclear on the roles, not understanding the expectations, unclear on their leadership. It's kind of unclear on a lot of things. And I was once like that. Back in the day, I wasn't clear about my role. I thought, mostly if I had enough work, if I worked harder, if I'm not smarter, but I couldn't do that in 2025. And I got to remembering back a Facebook post come back. You know how you get those Facebook posts and they show you back in the day, and a picture of some furniture come up. And people, I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, and that might have been one of them. But you know, you got to learn, and hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes. But me and my buddy, we had a furniture business, and on paper we made some pretty good money until you started calculating your time. And the time, woo, y'all heard of minimum wage? Well, we weren't making it if you did it by the hour. So we didn't do that. And then I got reflecting on what other things I used to do prior to 2025. And I had another thing I was doing. I was doing all the plumbing and all my concrete work. And my concrete buddy said, I'm not tell you what to do. I said, could I just tell you what I'd charge you? It's like, okay, yeah. It's like, all right, I'm not gonna be offended. He did the rough math real quick and he showed me, he said, here's what I charge you. Damn, boys. Every time you look at that, why? And I can get a whole lot more done, a whole lot more faster. And if it's wrong, he gets to come back and do it, not me. And if you ever done your own concrete and had to cut something out because you messed up, you know what I'm talking about. And I've had to cut corners before. Why? And I cut the corners because the corners weren't square. It ain't worth it. Have somebody else do that type of stuff. And I learned that the hard way. But in 2025, I've done a couple different things. I got clear on what I wanted to do. I fixed the bad things. I actually hired a coach. And I've had other coaches, and I still have more. I got more than one coach. I got a accountability coach. I got a business coach. I got a mentality coach, if you want to call it that. Keep me in the right mindset. Mindset coach, I guess what you call it. And if you guys got a coach and your coach doesn't have a coach, you might want to rethink that because not everybody can be perfect at one thing. Matter of fact, back in the day, I loved Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had more than one coach. And all the athletes have more than one coach. They got coaches for different things. But that being said, what's accountability, what's clarity look like? Well, clarity looks different to different people. But understanding where you want to go, the direction you want to be in. People get on to me and say, well, you shouldn't give away your stuff on the podcast. I don't give away all my secrets about how to do that. But you can find all kinds of things on YouTube, on the internet that we didn't have back in the day. But I tell people, if I share what I do and give you ideas, I'm not too worried about you taking and doing it because most people don't. You don't have the willpower to do it. You need people to hold you accountable. Patrick Mahomes, I watched him the other day, and he was having a coach. And he's got a coach to help him do certain things. Why? Because they hold him accountable. You ever done something and you think, I'm going to do it, and then you get to procrastinating? But it's a whole lot easier when somebody else is on the other line waiting for you to show up. Same type of thing. You got people to hold you accountable. My coach helps me do things, and create value for my clients is one of them. That's one of the things we're actually going to do this year for 2026, and that'll be another episode, but we're going to focus on the client experience. Did I have that idea? No. Do I have a guy who's going to hold me accountable for it? Yes. Is it going to happen? Absolutely. But we got clarity in pricing. We got clarity on the customer experience. I got clarity on my price. And that's what happened this year a couple different times. I gave a guy a price. He said, that's what it is. I said, yeah, that's what it's going to be. Now, I didn't just give him a price and expect him to take a higher price. I showed him the value in that higher price. I'm going to get it done in a day. How many contractors tell you they're going to be done in a day? It's probably takes somebody else 3 days. I'm not bragging. It's just that's the facts. And he felt, well, let me think about it. And I'm guessing he called around and got some prices or whatever and knew it's going to be done in a day. And he called me back and said, let's make it happen. I've had that happen a couple times this year. So be clear on your pricing, be clear on your numbers, be clear on your leadership. Understand your crews need to understand what they're expected to do. You need to be clear that you can trust them. You got to stop micromanaging. You got to make sure you get it to the right people for sure. Be clear on your systems. AI is a wonderful thing, and I have put in a new system in our company in 2026, and I got to working on it the other day, creating that SOP. But just because AI is there making that thing, you need to sit down and once you've made that SOP, read it out loud. Why? Well, sometimes when you read, your mind fills in the blanks. Read it out loud and make sure it makes sense to you. Hell, give it to your significant other, your office manager, whoever it is, let them read it out loud. See if it makes sense. Run it through your head, just like you're going to build a house and a plan. It's the same thing. It's a plan to create clarity for your SOP, standard operating procedure. Make sure there's no gaps in it. Make sure that walk through your head step by step how it's all going to happen. Get clarity on your decision making. Stop overthinking. The other day I was talking to one of my Filipinos, and great people, helped me a lot. And they were thinking, well, how are we going to do that step? And this step is like three steps down the road. I said, you know what? If we get that far, that's a good problem to have. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But I know if we don't get started and start moving forward, we're never going to get there. Let's deal with that later. Motion. Keep going forward. Stop overthinking. Stop acting emotionally. And stop second guessing yourself. What did I stop doing in 2025? Well, I stopped choosing every opportunity, chasing it around. I've said no a couple different times this year. That's a good thing. I made a mistake this year as well, but I stopped after I realized it. We're not doing some jobs that I'm not suited for. You got to say no. No to that. Is that what you do best? If it's not, then that's not you. I know it's hard sometimes to turn down money, but that money, and you take your time into play, don't make sense. We're doing a job, yeah, it's good money, but it's taking longer than it's supposed to because we don't do it every day. Saying yes to things may seem like you're productive, being busy, but busy hides broken systems. Focus on the systems that you need to get things done. Go back to that procedure thing we were talking about earlier. If you got a system, you got to make sure the system works. Read it out loud. Make sure it makes sense to you and your people. Show it to your people, actually, because they think differently than you do. There's been many times where I've wrote down notes. So here's your to-do list. And that list, they got it done. I said, why'd you do it that way? Well, you said this. I was like, damn it. And it's not them. It's me. I wrote it down. I understood what the hell I wrote, but they didn't. Make sure everybody understands what's going on. The other thing I've started doing is turning down things I shouldn't be doing. I challenge you to write down for 7 days, anywhere between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., what you did in a day. And then realize that some of those things you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. Somebody else should be. Now, you can challenge that and write that stuff down. The bigger challenge is turning those things over to people once you realize that you shouldn't be doing it. But that's for another discussion. What are we going to do? Do more of the same. Same things that are making you success. We're going to simplify. Do more of that. Add to your team. Build it. You're going to grow. You want more sales. You got to have to handle people to do that. You got to assign more things to qualified people. So just bringing on a team member doesn't mean they're qualified. Make sure they're the right people you bring on. We are going to increase the value to our clients. through their experience, and through their communication. What's all this mean? It means that you're going to be more productive, more predictable, and more sustainable. You're going to reduce your stress. There's a big one. And you're going to know what you're going to do in the next couple of months. Set some goals. The hard truth is that we don't realize when we look at it honestly how we're doing. Our sales process needs improving. Our prices could be wrong, probably need to go up. Your structure might be broken, and your role might be undefined. The leadership might need some work. And I say might. You might not like what you see, but if you avoid it, it's going to be very costly. Now let's look back. You don't need more effort. You don't need more hustle. You don't need another tactic, because you can get those on YouTube all day long. You need to have clarity. You need to have purpose, and you need to take action. Because clarity reduces stress, it builds confidence, and builds a real business. Now, if you need help in your clarity, you need the accountability, then down below, click on that link. Set up a time with me for your breakthrough session, and we'll talk about all this good stuff that we talked about today, more in depth and all about you. It's a free 50-minute consultation, and if that suits you and you like what you heard today, make that happen. This is Chris G. signing out for 2025. God be with you till we meet again. Y'all have a good day.